Whew. What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father. It's at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below, as usual. Um, this one's entitled Grind versus Glory. What I'm talking about is there are people who like the process of grinding, and there are people who like the fame with glory. So they go on to chase their ambitions and aspirations differently and maybe have a different motivation. Some of them work out the same, some of them don't, but there's a difference. See, some people in life like the work, they the glory, not so much. The glory just affirms that if you put in the work, you get the glory. But truth be told, you just like the work. You like to get up early in the morning and put your nose to the grind. You like um, to do the heavy lifting when nobody's looking. You like the 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., you know, putting in time. You like the, the getting your hands dirty part, you know. Like you, so for a person who likes to grind, they don't necessarily pay attention to the accolades or how things accumulate over time because they're not really smelling the roses. It's just one thing after another, after another, after another. They're very goal oriented in the grind. The goal isn't, to be known or this or that. The goal is to this week I want to get better at this. Next week I want to get better at that. Next week I want to get better at that. That's all it is. It's just a step, taking small steps towards greatness. Now, sometimes you need the person who loves the grind in your crew. If you have a team, that's a person you actually need very much so, because that's who sets the tone. That's who makes sure that the job gets done. That's who um, makes sure you're successful, because you you shouldn't be concerned about the big things all the time. It's the little things that make the big things happen. It's not um, we going big or going home type of thing. It's not at all. So you're always going to need the grind person, because the grind person is going to get you where you need to go. The grind person actually has a plan every day. You know. Now, when it comes to glory, people who want glory don't mind grinding if they've seen the success, or they believe that they will see the success of the glory of fame or fortune at the end of the road. They'll they'll do work, and they'll actually be enthusiastic about the work in the process, because they're enthusiastic about the accolades that come with it when you win. So, you know, they're the people who want the attention. So if you they'll work hard, but if they reach one accomplishment on the road to the big goal, they gotta celebrate. You know, they always gotta celebrate. It's always how can I say this? It's always some type of party to be known. You know, look at me, look at me. Like when you watch a football game, there are people who celebrate when you win the game. Like, yeah, and there are people who celebrate first down, touchdown. We live, we live, baby. There are those people who celebrate all the little small steps towards the win. Those are the people who are out for the glory. Like, they're fun, they're fun to be around, but they need that constant affirmation for their glory. They need that. If you take that away from them, you might take away their enthusiasm and work ethic. Um, that doesn't mean they're not going to work just as hard as the person who grinds. It just means that uh, they're going to work just as hard to be known after they grind. That's all that means, you know. And sometimes you need that person because that person reminds you that you're going down the right road. Not because things are going good, but when things are going bad. Those are the people. If you got a good one, because sometimes their emotions may be volatile. They want to win because they want the glory. So they're a good gauge of the direction that you're going in. Because if they're feeling great, you know you're going in the right direction because they can celebrate. When they're all emotional and ready to flip out and stuff, you know that it's going in the wrong direction because they're not seeing the glory that they want. So what winds up happening is, um, you you kind of like, okay, so how can we get back into it? And they're also a barometer if you're getting back into it or losing, or about to start losing too, because they can feel the change coming. Even if the grinder might trust the process, but that person out for glory can feel the change coming because they can feel the tide turn. So they're good. They're good for that. Now, um, the one thing, sometimes you need the two people together and they can work cohesively if they understand each other. Now, why I said grind versus glory is because you find out who's really about that business when you win. See, if you winning, the person that grinds will be like, "Congratulations, we won. All right, now let's get back to work." Okay, we took a break, we celebrated. It was all about us. Yippee! There was a parade. We got confetti. We got a trophy. Everybody knows our name. Good, but now we got to get back to work because if we're gonna do this again, this is what it's gonna take. And for the people who want glory, it kind of throws them off because they like, man, I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna party. Everybody knows my name. I'm trying to be famous. I'm gonna enjoy this money. I want this feeling. This is what I want. I want to be known and get patted on the back everywhere I go. So they're completely different in that aspect. And what winds up happening is, if the grinder doesn't smell the roses from time to time, um, they actually might wind up being too tedious, you know. Now, and they're never taking a break and burn themselves out. But the other thing is, the glory hog might wind up wanting glory so much that they forget to work. You know, like they might be more concerned with the fame and fortune than the actual work, and then they fall off. And they don't realize that how bad they've fallen off, because once they feel like they've reached the mountaintop, they seem to forget that other people have a gunning for them. They got a bullseye on their back. They seem to forget that easily. So they think, oh, I could turn the switch on because I won before. No, it ain't that easy. So sometimes their work ethic just sucks after the big win. But what winds up happening at the end of the day is, um, the person who grinds can tell a person who wants the glory, this is when they tell them, you messing up. You didn't put that work in that we used to put in. You messing up. You know, you wanted to go out to the club when it was time to get the small details fixed. You messing up. You thought you could turn it on and off when you felt like it because you had it like that. You messing up. You know, and but the person that wants the glory can't normally see that until they start losing, and it takes and until they can take responsibility for their part in the loss, they'll never be the same. So, you got it, but they also work together in that sense too, because if the grind can reach the glory, and the glory is like, okay, let's get back to work, let's get back on it, then it works out just fine. But you got to know who your team is and how they get down. Sometimes I will say this: people who want the glory might bring too much attention to the team, because sometimes they want so much attention they don't know when it's detrimental. Grinder maybe low key, and the glory may be high key. You feel me? So sometimes they don't realize, you're doing too much. That's when them and the grinder get real into it. It's like, oh, we don't need all this attention. You need to tone it down. You know, part of our success is the element of surprise. So we out. I'm done. Y'all have a good one.